Hey, what's happening, guys? It's Jamie here. Thanks very much for joining me and welcome to this video. What I'm going to be talking about today is something that you need to understand the metrics behind if you're wanting to scale an offer through paid advertising, or if you are looking at affiliate marketing and you're looking at low ticket versus high ticket versus recurring. Seems to be a very common argument at the moment. So I'm going to cover why what I'm going to go through here today is vitally important if you're, like I say, either scaling or even just understanding the metrics behind why people prefer high ticket versus low ticket versus recurring. Anyway, so I'm just going to draw on this whiteboard and hopefully you're going to understand what I'm going to go through. So first and foremost, if we take our little pencil over here, this is the first time on the channel, by the way. I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. I'm a full-time affiliate marketer, also a coach for program. Got well over 650 students absolutely smashing it with their affiliate marketing. If you'd like to learn more about how we can help you out, click the link below in the description. Otherwise, head over to jgcall.com. Check out the free case study there. Feel free to lock in a time with myself if you'd really like to start earning those big dollars, 5, 10, 15, up to 20K per month as an affiliate marketer. All right. Otherwise, hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, cool. So this is the thing. It is something called LTV. There's variations of it, but this is lifetime value, customer lifetime value. What do I mean by that? What is customer lifetime value? Right, so I'm going to assume for the sake of argument that everyone is relatively new to this concept. Whoa, it's me testing stuff out before. Don't know if you can hear that. I've got a neighbor he laughs every day. It's like he wakes up and just laughs from like dusk till dawn or vice versa, whatever. It's classic. Anyway, I don't have a very soundproof recording studio, shall we say, just yet. Anyway, right, so lifetime value, what am I talking about? If you imagine that someone has made a purchasing decision with your offer, with your info product, with your business, with your affiliate offer, and lifetime value is how much that customer is worth to your business over the lifetime of them being your customer, right? And so all that means is that if you look at something, just some really basic metrics here, let's say you've got an offer and assuming you're affiliate, of course, but let's say you've got one where it pays you $1,000 per sale. Not bad day in the office, right? So at a very minimal starting point, that customer has a lifetime value of $1,000, okay? A minimum value to your business or to you as an affiliate or whatever of $1,000. So why are these things important to understand? Let's delve into that a little bit further before I go any further with this one. Because if you are looking to scale with paid ads, you need to know this metric, because without it, it's a road for bankruptcy. If you are spending more to acquire that customer than what their lifetime value is, then you're going to go bust real quick unless you've got super deep pockets, which most of us don't, right? So that's why it's important to understand. The other thing to bear in mind, because a lot of people are trying to argue that recurring options are the best. So I want passive income, I want to do the work once, get paid forever, which would be nice. In a perfect world, that would be brilliant. And as ironic as this seems, because I do have my own recurring product, and again, there is a link in the description if you want to check out that option as well. The problem with that is that the lifetime value of those customers is usually small-ish, right? There are outliers, there are exceptions to this rule, of course, but the general rule of thumb is people will stay with something for a couple of months. Look at all the softwares out there. There are outliers, like I say, people that have been with, you name it, whatever product that you're promoting for years. I have one of the things I promote, I've got people that I signed up back in 2017 that are still paying me month on month on month on month on month. But these people are outliers. The attrition rate for most recurring products is relatively high. However, I still think that as part of your overall portfolio for affiliate marketing in particular, or your info products or whatever, then it is important to have these other things there. So that way you can actually still get paid when you're not working. But just understand that you're going to need a lot of customers in order to build out a business that pays you accordingly, right? Otherwise, you're better off focusing on the lifetime customer value of high ticket, and likewise with low ticket. And to kind of cap that off as well, why would I have low ticket products in that case? Why is it that you can click the link below this very video, check out my workshop, which covers my entire business, and why am I only selling that for $49 at the time of recording? Knowing full well it's worth at least this much, right? If not more. This is my entire business model. All organic marketing, without funnels, without any of that fancy stuff, which is ironic given that it's on a funnel that I'm selling it on. But it is very valuable information. So why am I doing that? Why would you do that? As an affiliate, as an info product creator, as whatever, right? And the reason for that is if I can give someone a good experience with a low investment, and I have amazing scripts, I have amazing bonuses, I have amazing things that people can get as part of that. If you have a great experience on that front end offer, what do you think the probability is that you're going to maybe in future want to work with me later on, right? That is why people create these low ticket offers, in order to incentivize the ascension of that customer later on. Maybe if you like me and you like the way that I communicate and you like the information that I'm providing, maybe you might want to ascend. That's not to say that there's 100 different upsells in that particular funnel. What there is actually only one upsell to a membership that's a recurring, and it's where I can help you out on a weekly basis with your business and ongoing modules, all sorts of stuff there as well, right? And that's the only upsell, and there's an order bump, but that's it. But that's the reason why I do that. So the two things. Number one is I'm trying to increase the average order value. I've got an order bump there. That's got an uptake rate of around about 50 to 60% at the moment, going pretty well, meaning that the average cart value has increased just from that order bump. But then there's also an upsell on the back end. So in a perfect world, everyone jumps into the Ascension. There's a $1 trial on the back end of that. And if you stay on, then it's however much per month, right? And so that means that you as a customer might have a lifetime customer value, which is a little bit higher than someone who's only just taken that front end offer, so to speak. Like I say, the goal is really just to provide a ton of value in order to hopefully one day, if I can help you out, if I can serve you, you might want to take some of my coaching or one of my high ticket products later on, right? So anyway, the other thing you need to know, like I say, is the, what's it called? What's the acronym for this? Damn it. AOV. And so this is, for example, this is called average order value. There's different ways of kind of throwing it out there, average cart value, etc., all that sort of stuff. So it's an average. So it might mean that someone might buy the front end offer. Maybe it's $7. Maybe in my case, 49. Maybe it is 149. Maybe it is 300. Maybe it's even 1,000. Maybe, right? Depending on the level of service that you're providing. So that means that is the basics of it. Now, when is the best time to try and sell something to someone? It is when they have actually already made a purchasing decision. So therefore, you have what they refer to as an upsell. An upsell is basically where you get presented with another opportunity to grab something that's going to assist you along the way. And so normally there's, depending on what product you're seeing or promoting or providing, there is usually 1 to 3 upsells. It really depends. I've seen some that have, still blows my mind, 14 different upsell videos. So the upsells and downsells. A downsell, by the way, is, hey, welcome, thanks for joining me on this thing. By the way, I've got this other thing over here. It's really amazing. It's worth $100. Oh, sorry, you didn't want to grab that? Well, look, I'd like to offer you 50% discount. You can pick it up here just for $50. And so this is what you're effectively doing is every time someone goes through this pathway, they're going to buy the front end. Normally, just as a rough guideline, you're going to get an uptake rate of around about 15 to 25%. So it normally sits in the middle, about the 20% that are going to take the upsells, at least one of those upsells, right? And of course, if they take the entire cart, then you have a lot larger average order value. Hopefully this makes sense, right? So if you understand what your average order value is, and there's also an order bump, by the way, and that is just usually like a little tick box, and it's like has a high perceived value. Sometimes it's relatively low investment, $17, $10, whatever, and that increases your average order value. So if you understand this, and I'll give you an example. Let's say that you have a great ascension on the back end. So like I say, my intention with offering the inner workings of my business for $49 is not because I want to undersell the information that I have, which I will say is an underselling of that information. I can assure you of that. But like I say, the reason for that is because some of you will like the way that I communicate. Some of you will understand that I can help you shortcut your progress online and start hitting those big months. And some of you might want to work with me at some point. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it. That's why everyone's doing it. But there's another thing, if you are an info product creator or you are an affiliate, to understand the average order value, let's assume that you decide to get into paid traffic at some stage. I would encourage everyone, especially if you're starting out, to mainly focus on organic traffic to start with. That is using free resources. You're exchanging time and for that income. And then once you understand the sales cycle, then you can start looking into paid traffic, right? But here's the thing. So if we say, for argument's sake, I think my average order value for this particular product below is, oh gosh, I think I get about a 50% uptake rate of the upsell plus a $49. So you're looking at about, let's say it's $57, just for argument's sake. I'm going to throw this out there, and you have to forgive me for my writing here, right? Okay, so I also have, so actually let's scrap this. I'll show you something else just to make sense of it all. If we go, pencil, and we go like that, and we've got the front end offer at the time of recording is $49, may well be higher by the time you view this. Like I say, I'm sort of underselling it there. Plus, there's also an order bump, which has a very high perceived value. So that's $17. This is just another way to increase the average order value. And then there's actually only one upsell, and all that is a $1 trial of my membership. 7 days at the time of recording may well have changed. So clearly I'm not going to generate a ton of revenue off that, but there is, if people remain with that, it's $100 a month for a membership, where I offer Zoom calls and a whole bunch of content and ongoing support, all that sort of stuff. So if we assume that the upsell, I'll ignore the $1 trial, and we assume that's 100, right? So, oh God. Okay, so the stats might look like this, just for argument's sake. You might have, let's say you're a good copywriter, you've got some great sales stuff, and you're selling to a relatively warm audience. You might be able to pick up off cold traffic. So actually ignore what I just said, off cold traffic. You might have, say, for example, 5% conversion rate. So you can start to look at some numbers here, right? You then have, in my case, I've got, I think it's about 53% uptake rate on the order bump, meaning that the cart value is now all of a sudden, from that, goes from $49, now all of a sudden average order at bare minimum, if 50% of people take that, $66, right? So therefore, normally, in this case, about 53%. I don't know what the industry stats are. I'm just giving you rough figures from mine. And then round about 10 to 15% of people are going to jump into the upsell then. There's also a 1 week window where I try to push people onto that. And so that, off the initial thing, is usually about 15 to 20%, like will straight away take that. So if we go, let's say, I'll be generous and I'll say 20%. But with the upsells, and because they then log into the front end and they're like, this is awesome, Jamie's the bomb, I'm learning so much, it's incredible. Actually, you know what, I will take up the membership. And so therefore, I get an additional, usually between, the total stats are sort of like between 30 and 50% of people that buy will actually jump into the membership, at least try it. So it means that the total, I'm going to say conservatively, let's say it's 40% in total. It's a little bit higher than that, but let's be conservative with this one. Right, so now we can start working out some stuff. And what it means is that if we know that we're running paid traffic and let's say combined, just the front end offer here, just this first part, let's say the average order value is, like I say, you're looking at, say, $57, just for argument's sake. It's around about that anyway, but just to give you guys some scenarios to play with. So that means that my average order value is $57. This is cool. So it means that if I'm running paid traffic to this, I can afford to break even. If I'm breaking even on that front end, it's costing me $57 to buy one customer. I have a highly scalable $1 million product there. Highly scalable, assuming that my audience buyer pool is large enough. If it's broad market, it can scale infinitely. If it's niche market, there's going to be limitations on that. But I can scale. That's the point I'm trying to make. Meaning that if I can buy a customer for free, I can then sell them the membership, I can sell them my ongoing coaching, and sell them some of the high ticket stuff I promote at the back end. And that there is a highly profitable business, $1 million business, basically. If, for example, it is costing me, and I'm going to try and get rid of this, hopefully you guys understand all this stuff there. Let's just go. Oh man, I can't even. All right, so if we get rid of that for a moment, just so you guys understand where I'm heading with all this gibberish. Bloody hell. Have fun getting, watch me, don't say it, Jamie, don't say it. You're being recorded. Keep your jokes PC. Phew, nearly did. Right, so now we've got average value, $57, right? It means that you can afford to, if you're breaking even, you've got a winning business. But you also know, because, and let's just get rid of this other thing over here, and let's assume, don't worry about the other upsells and the other coaching, all the other things that could potentially increase the average value of that customer over a lifetime. Let's just be super conservative here and just say that there's only 20% that jump straight into the $100 thing. So now it means we're adding a whole other layer to the business, to the upsells, to the average order value. And hopefully that makes sense. And so what this means is that, and I don't know the mathematics off the top of my head, but let's say 100 people times 100. So let's say that 20 out of 100 people that buy the front end offer have upgraded. So that's what, $2,000. So now we know that, you know, after all that, the average order value is a lot higher. The average customer value is a lot higher. Here's the cool part. What it means is that if, going back to our example before, it's going to cost us, say, $57, sorry, average order value front end. So this is where you can really start to get inside the life of a business and how, you know, you see some of these ones that have a low ticket front end, how they tend to blow up. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things I can do here, by the way. I can have another upsell in between this. I could have another order bump on the membership. I could, you know, there's all sorts of things I could have that would increase the average order value from just this process. But here's the cool thing. So now what it means, if and again, I don't actually know the metrics. I probably should have done my homework before jumping on, but you kind of get the point. What it means is that there is now a buffer. So it might cost me, just, and again, I'm going to use just a hypotheticals, of course. It might cost me, say, for example, let's say $120 to acquire that one customer on the front end. So it's actually costing me $120 to get a $57 return. So you would look at that externally and go, that's a negative, dude. Like, why would you do that? You're actually losing money and you're going to go to an early grave real quick if you're doing that. Your business is going to bust. But I also know that the uptake rate is around about 20%. And forget the ongoing follow-up and all that sort of stuff, and the ascension to coaching and all that sort of stuff, right? The average order now has increased. And so it means that, and again, I don't know the stats, but if we now know that the average lifetime value of that customer is, let's say that they stay with the membership for 3 to 5 months, would be conservative, say 3 months minimum, means that the bare minimum is worth $367. There you go. Can't believe I worked that out. Good on me. So $367 is their lifetime value. So what does that tell you? Now, obviously, there's all the people that didn't upgrade. But what that means is that if we go 367 times, say, 20%, blah, 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 it means, you know, the average customer value over that lifetime might be like, say, $150. Just purely hypotheticals here. So what that means is if we come over here, and we're going to get rid of all this doodacky over here, what that means is now we're left with, I should learn to draw again, right? We're left with our cost, which is $120, but we know that over a period of time, our lifetime value might be as high as $150 as an average, okay? And as you make product improvements, as you create better copy for things, as you get better at your emails and your follow-ups and all sorts of stuff, and you cross-sell other products and you recommend other affiliate products, you know, really good stuff starts to happen. But then that means that now we know that we can, in theory, you could spend up to $150 to acquire that $57 front-end customer. Hopefully that makes sense. So what that means is that you've then got a profitable business. Super cool. Now, of course, it would defeat the purpose to be spending this much, $120 to get a measly 150 or whatever it is. But if we go back to my earlier figure, which was what, $367, then you're starting to look okay. Things are starting to look a little bit better from this particular angle. However, we can change it a little bit further as well. And if we assume that there is no recurring there, let's get rid of that just because, like I say, the attrition rate is going to be high, and that's not always fun to deal with. And if you can scale faster than the attrition rate is taking effect, then obviously you've got a profitable business there as well. But just understand that there will be those people that just stay, or they don't finish the trial, all that sort of stuff, right? It's part of the game. Let's change the numbers up a little bit. So now, if we make the assumption that every month, instead of having a membership or whatever your upsell is, let's assume that you're actually driving traffic in this front end, but then you've got an ascension, so it looks like that. I think that's it. Greater than, smaller than, whatever. And you've got a coaching offer, and you're coaching, for argument's sake, let's say it's, so mine's like, at the moment it's 4K or $2,000, depending on what it is, or one of my high ticket products like SAA, for example, 2.5K at the time of recording. So if we go another way and we assume, and let's just be conservative again and just say you've got a coaching offer of $2,000 on the back end of that, so 2K. Now, bearing in mind the uptake rate of that is going to be pretty small. Usually, I don't have specific stats to be perfectly fair, but I'm going to guess, and I'm going to say, out of every 100 that you've sent through, let's assume that there's like 4 or 5 people. Let's be generous and say there's 5%. So these are customers, right? These are people that have ascended, they've jumped in the front end. It doesn't happen straight away. Maybe they book a call, maybe they do whatever. But you're going to start to get some metrics along the way. And again, I don't know what these figures are. This is just all me giving an illustration of what this potentially could look like in your business. So then, knowing that you've got that 5% conversion rate, so every 100 customers, you can get 5 high-ticket customers. So you've now effectively made $10,000, and that lifetime customer value is paid up front. You're not waiting for those recurring things to stack up, and hoping that your intake rate is bigger than the attrition rate on the other side. Hopefully that makes sense. So then, at least you know that you made 10K minimum, and so therefore, again, you now have some numbers to work with. So therefore, that maybe you can spend up to, $500 to acquire one customer. It might take you that much. Maybe you can afford to spend $1,000. I don't know the metrics, but giving you an idea of how this could potentially work. Right. So therefore, you now know that your customer base is you're building that, and like I say, you can cross sell. You can do JVs. You can send those to affiliate products. You can send them into webinars, whatever you want. Things that help your customers out, of course, and then some are going to want that additional help. So and again, you might have another layer above this. So that might be your group coaching. You might have another layer above that. So you might have like a 4K offer, a 5K, or 10K, whatever it is, for more one-on-one, hands-on stuff, so on and so forth. So now you've taken something which is small, low-ticket front end, and you can afford to spend $100, $200 on acquiring that one customer because lifetime value going to pay off. So anyway, that's my rant for today. Hopefully you guys got some benefit out of this. Smash that like button, drop any comments below, and look forward to catching you guys in the next one. Thanks very much.